Boris Johnson is fighting for his political life today at a parliamentary inquiry in the UK about the Partygate scandal. The former UK Prime Minister told the inquiry just a short while ago that he did not lie about rule-breaking parties at Downing Street during the COVID lockdowns. However, if he is found to have misled Parliament on the issue, he's likely to be suspended as an MP. We'll have a listen then to Johnson making his defence a short while ago.
I'm here to say to you, hand on heart, that I did not lie to the House. When those statements were made, they were made in good faith and on the basis of what I honestly knew and believed at the time. When this inquiry was set up, I was completely confident that you would find nothing to show I knew or believed anything else, as indeed you have not.
Well, listening to that with me was our chief foreign editor, Rob Parsons. And Rob, what do you make of Boris Johnson's defence so far? He's come out fighting, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's what we expected, of course. He actually says he accepts, he acknowledges that he did mislead the House of Commons. But the issue here is whether he did it knowingly or not. And his argument is that he didn't do it knowingly, that he was speaking on the basis of the information that he'd been given by his political advisers. In other words, effectively, he's throwing them under the bus and hoping that will be enough for him to keep a sufficient political distance from the whole affair. It's going to be a tough one for him, I think. But the committee that's investigating and interrogating him today said in its interim report that it had come up with at least 4 occasions when he misled Parliament. The issue is going to be whether it's credible that he didn't know that these meetings were taking place against the rules and guidelines which he himself defined, which he himself on numerous occasions called on the British people to observe, over a period of some considerable time. It's a very tough one to him to stand up there and convince people that really was the case. It questions people's credibility, I think, to make that argument in a particularly strong way. But that's what he's got to do. And for him, the issue, I think, is just that. He has to be able to demonstrate in some way or another that, however unlikely people may suspect it to be, that he really didn't know.
And look, if the inquiry finds Boris Johnson did lie and did intentionally lie to Parliament, is that it for him politically, the end of his career?
Well, I would hesitate to say with Boris Johnson that it's the end of his political career. There have been moments in his career when people have said just that, well, that's it for Boris, and he's come back again. The fact that we're even talking about this now, despite the fact that he was dislodged from his position as Prime Minister, but even after that, we can be talking about the possibility of him making a comeback. It just shows how difficult it is to make things stick on Boris Johnson. But it will be difficult. If the verdict is a tough one, that he intentionally misled Parliament, in other words, a charge of contempt against Parliament, then it's going to be very difficult for him because he will likely be suspended from Parliament. His constituency Tory party members will be asked to hold a petition on whether they want him to continue to be their member of Parliament. If that goes against him, there will be a by-election. He would be entitled to stand in that by-election, but the chances of his winning it will be pretty small. And in that eventuality, I think it would be very difficult for Boris Johnson to come back. But with Boris Johnson, you can never say, no, it's not possible.
No, indeed. And we are really just getting underway with that parliamentary inquiry. So we'll keep an eye on what he has to say and we'll have more on this later on. For now, though, Rob Parsons, thanks very much.